Hey guys, welcome to Book Club. So today we're going to be talking about The Liars Club. This memoir follows Mary Carr's tumultuous childhood in East Rural, Texas in the 1960s. The book gets its title from her father's drinking buddies who often got together to swap stories. The memoir follows the story of Mary and her sister who often encounter alcoholism, domestic instability, death, and sexual abuse. So Caitlin, what do you think of the book? Well, since you asked, I thought that the book was full of copious amounts of similes and metaphors on every other page. She uses them to display the various themes such as loyalty, endurance of bond, strength of family. But I think the most important themes of the book are the difference between her mother and father and the non-judgmental way in which she views her mother. And I really do think we should discuss those. Well, since you mentioned that theme, Caitlin, I did find a quote on page 96. Mary Carr writes, "If Daddy's past was more intricate to me than my own present, Mother's was as blank as the West Texas desert she came from." Mary Carr's use of metaphor represents the opposition between the father and the mother. Comparing her father's intricate past indicates that although complex, she understands it more than her mother's. Her mother's past, which she compares to blank West Texas, comes off as mysterious or simply non-existent. So Megan, what did you think about theme 2? Okay, like you were saying, another prevalent theme throughout the memoir is the non-judgmental way in which Mary views her mother. In one of the most poignant passages in The Liars Club, Mary Carr writes about the time her mother took all of her and her sister's belongings and burned them in a bonfire in her backyard. She writes on page 132, "When Mother gets done emptying stuff into the fire, she goes back inside the house, and we follow like herd animals. We don't run to some neighbor house calling, 'Save us, save us.' We wouldn't leave Mother alone in this state." While Mary's account of the fire implies neglect to many readers, I think it reveals something about Mary's relationship with her mother. Although her mother sets the fire, Mary uses similes to compare her and her sister to herded animals, following her mother into the home after she burned all of her belongings. As I said, many of the actions of the mother imply neglect. However, Mary's voice shows extreme admiration towards her mother. Although her mother was a belligerent drunk and negligent, Mary still admired her and viewed her without judgment. What do you guys think? I think you're totally right. I think the descriptions of her mother throughout the text do imply neglect. However, I believe her voice reveals strong admiration and affection towards her mother. I think as she grew older, the view of her mother really changed. She was able to mature and reflect on the traumatic events of her childhood. In the following simile, Carr expresses the change of view she experiences and the transition from childhood to adulthood and the impact of which it had on the view of her mother. On page 244, she writes, "It was only over time that the panorama of the painful memory became animate, like a scene in some movie crystal ball that whirls from a foggy blur into focus. I think as she grew older, she was able to understand the effect her mother's actions had on her childhood." Now that we've discussed the similes and metaphors and themes that make up the book, let's actually talk about the title, The Liars Club. The Liars Club can be described as a double entendre, something that holds two meanings. The Liars Club literally describes a group of men who got together to get drunk and tell stories. However, I think we can all agree that the title holds a deeper meaning. Essentially, the Liars Club encompasses everyone who has ever told a story or recalled a personal memory. There is also irony in the title, The Liars Club. In the presence of the Liars Club, Mary felt safe and protected despite her company of supposed liars. However, in the company of truth-tellers, Mary feels exposed, out of place, unsafe. On page 106, Carr writes, "I keenly felt the loss of my own trust in the world's order." Although she is in the presence of liars, Mary feels safer because she knows that they do not try to hide their title as liars. Okay guys, so I think that the people that read this book should really pay special attention to a few devices that she uses in telling her story. I noticed that the narration is ubiquitous, meaning that her voice is in all places at one time. Mary Carr is not just simply telling her story, but she is also giving the scenes of it a deeper meaning. As a reader, we hear the many voices of Mary Carr, including her as a 7-year-old and as a grown-up. Overall, Mary Carr's use of rhetorical devices helps the audience delve deeper into the meaning of the text, while also creating a captivating story. I really enjoyed analyzing the text tonight. Great book club, guys!